Why on earth, Joe, would you want to put a dimmer switch in here? It looks like a little storage closet of some sort. Well, we've got this little seating bench here. We've got our shoes in there for the Peloton. We got this Peloton and we use this to exercise. And it was big enough to stand up in this room. And it's a little room where we can come in here and meditate. And we've got this little meditation area here, these lit candles. They're battery operated so we don't get smoke in here and turn on the smoke alarm or anything like that, fake plants and stuff. And it's going to be a nice little meditation room. We don't want this bright light in here in the meditation room. We could just turn it off and close the door, let's say, you know. And if you close the door, obviously it gets really super dark in here. You've got this light in here, that's no good for meditation. And she's been just turning these little candles on, the little battery operated candles. They work actually pretty good. And that's actually all you need in here. But she said, hey, let's just go ahead and put a dimmer switch in here. The dimmer switch wasn't very much, and it'll dim this light down. And there's just regular incandescent light bulbs in there, or CFL bulbs. Well, actually, I don't know what's up there. And I think they're regular incandescent bulbs. So this can be dimmed. In fact, on CFL bulbs, can you dim CFL bulbs? I think you can. I'm not sure if you have to get an actual compact fluorescent bulbs that are dimmable. I'm going to put the dimmable switch in there, and that's going to be my project. First things first, though, before you work on anything like this, make sure you go and turn the power off, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn the power off, double check this, and get my little construction light set up so we can check this out. Oh, now have I piqued your interest? Hey Joe, what kind of bulbs are in fact up there? I'm not quite sure, but let's just talk about this for a minute. If those were compact fluorescent bulbs and if they were non-dimmable, you could go to the store and see if you can get some CFL compact fluorescent bulbs that were dimmable. If not, I know that you can upgrade to LED bulbs, 60 watt comparable, 40 watt comparable, and I've seen some that say dimmable. You could do that, or you could take the CFLs out up there if they were, and if you have some old incandescent bulbs, like the old style 60 watt bulbs, 40 watt bulbs, you can put those in there, and those will be dimmable. Okay, so there's different options that you could do. But first things first, on this particular one, we're just going to go ahead, and our next step is going to be to remove this light switch. Okay, turn the power off, make sure it's not working. The reason why I have light in here is because I got my trusty construction light on, and I've got it facing the wall over there so that hopefully I don't get too many shadows over at this location. That's the best I'll be able to do anyways, okay? So I'll go ahead and take this light switch cover plate off. I do all this stuff by hand. I don't use that battery operated drill. And then you've got two mounting screws on this. Usually it just takes a little Phillips screwdriver. And I got this one for free when I installed a ceiling fan. It came with the ceiling fan, and I like it. It just is a shorter one. I've got one a standard size. It's got a little bit heavier handle knob on it than this. This is just a little cheapo one. You can get bigger ones like this with bigger knobs for Phillips and standard and stuff, but see, my standard one is just a cheapo 99-cent one too. You don't need to spend a whole lot of money on your tools. As long as you get something halfway decent. I want you to not say, I can't afford to do it myself, Joe, because you use too expensive tools. That's not going to happen around here. No sorry, bub. It gives you a little bit of a workout. We're going to see what we got here. We got a couple wire nuts back in there. We're not going to concern ourselves with those other wire nuts, are we? I'm not sure. They got a wire nut in there with the two white wires and the ground. I think the ground wires they have behind a wire nut too. They don't really have to do that. They could have used some crimpers. I'm just gonna push that. See if I can't push that back in there. Because I'm gonna have 3 more wire nuts in here, you know. Now let's just pull this out. You see their ground. The grounds, they have a wire nut on there. They should have put that in with the crimper, but they didn't. I'm just gonna grab those with my pliers, resituate that. Just doing a little bit of readjusting in there. Now I got more room to finagle my new wires. My new wire nuts back there, because see, this doesn't have any wire nuts connecting to it. The ground wire usually is adjusted, installed with a screw here. And in fact, you know, I've done this a few other times. And this time, let's just use our cutters. Let's say you're in a rush. We know we've got plenty of wire here, so I'm going to cut this off. I'm going to cut these off. Okay, I can undo this now, I can undo it later, but see on these, if I want to pull them off, there's a couple different ways I could do that. Because I'm going to save this, because this is a perfectly good switch for another time. I can kind of do it like this and keep twisting on that and pull that out. Okay. That was all pushed back in there. Okay, I can do it that way, or if you're going to use this again, if you don't want to do that, you can take a little screwdriver and push it in that. There's a little slot. There's a little slot in there. You see it? Right there. I can push on that, push on it, and that comes right out. So I'm just using my stomach. Pushed on that and it came right out. See, now I might not be able to use that one again, but I got it out. So next time when I use this, and if I try that and it's loose, I can wrap it around the side screw. See, this one still is on there. So I push on that and see how it just came right out. And that's why you need a little screwdriver like that. I use that for all kinds of stuff. Okay. So this is my switch that I'm not going to use for right now, but I'm gonna end up saving it. I can just leave this little ground wire on there, or I can take it off. You know, I'd have to use my little screwdriver, pry that a little bit, my fatter screwdriver in there, and bend that. Okay, now I can slide that off. See? Do that too. No sense throwing this away, forget it. I can reuse this another time. Okay? So I've got one screw that's still attached with the little cardboard washer. My other screw came out and I'm not quite sure what happened to that screw. It should be on the floor here somewhere. I'll have to find it. So I let it drop. Oh, here it is. See, this one didn't have a little cardboard washer. This is just a little cardboard washer that they give you when you buy these. That way the screw doesn't fall out and it's just there. And then you can screw it in, and then when you unscrew it, you can pull it back out and it holds on there. Well, this one came out, so obviously I can't just hold that in there now. See, and that's why sometimes they don't package them with separate screws. They usually have a little washer on them like that. But I can save this. This is probably $2.50, depending where you buy it. Maybe even up to $4. I'll save that. Okay. Okay. So now, could I just attach my wire nuts after I strip this? Yeah, I probably could, but you see how this is all kind of interwoven. I'm not quite sure why they did that, but I'm gonna get these out because I want enough slop in here. I can just rebend this. What's coming out straight? I don't know exactly just yet exactly where I'm going to fold these in, but I want some leeway. Okay, so with that, I can take my pliers, and it's twisted, so I can just take this and untwist it. That's the best way to do it. Okay. Now I can just grab the end of it and just kind of use that and rebend this. See how far this ground wire is coming out? I don't need that far, and I don't want to push it all back in there. Let's say I even got some sheetrock mud in here. I can take that out. See how those big flakes, that gives me more room to push my wire nuts back into the back of this box, you know. And I'll have to sweep up very carefully at the end. Okay, so I've got all my wires kind of positioned loosely back there now to where I can get one up there, a couple back over there. I'm kind of getting my idea formulated here. And I'm going to make these about the same length because I'm going to use wire nuts for them. I don't need them any longer than that. I could actually cut those a hair shorter, but most electricians frown on that. They like to say, hey, you're supposed to have 6 inches coming out of the wall. Here, see, we got 5 1/2, 5 3/4. That's plenty. I've even done them before where somebody has made a mistake and they're real close, but you don't want them too close to the wall. Then it's harder to finagle everything back in there. Okay, 5 to 6 inches sticking out like that. Okay, all right, that's our next step. You can do this. I know you can.